All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makar Kwadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. I'm going to be talking about how if you, or let me try and say it this way instead, man. Knowing who the Israelites are will help you know where Babylon the Great is, right? And make you know where the prophecy relating to Babylon in the end times, where that is talking about, man. Because there's a lot of people that don't know who or don't know what Babylon the Great is, and they've got all these questions, and they say that it's the Vatican, they say that it's all these different things, right? But that's because they don't know who the Israelites are. That's the reason why they say these things, right? Whereas if you know who the Israelites are, you wouldn't be confused by where Babylon the Great is, man. You wouldn't have no confusion in that regard. Now I'm gonna go to some scriptures. This is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 33. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go, and that's talking about the place that the Israelites was going to be in the end times, man. Right? Verse 34, their Redeemer is strong, Yahweh of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give them rest, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. Right? So where is this Babylon that he's talking about in the scriptures, where Judah and Israel were both oppressed? Because it's not talking about ancient Babylon. Because in ancient Babylon, it was only Judah, Benjamin, and some of the Levites, some of the tribe of Levi that was there as well, because every single tribe had Levites among them, right? So it was only Judah, Benjamin, and Levi that had that happening to them at that time. It wasn't every single tribe that was among Nebuchadnezzar. And it wasn't every single tribe that was there, man. Right? The northern kingdom got taken down by the Assyrian Empire. So where is this Babylon? Where is this place that he's speaking about? That Yahweh is going to disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. That Judah and Israel were both oppressed together. Now, I'm saying it's America. But where do all these Christian scholars say that he's talking about? Then where do they say? Where do these Christians say that that's talking about? Because they've got such a problem with what we say. But then when you ask them to explain it, you'll notice that they don't ever want to do it. You notice that they never want to, all they want to do is say, it don't mean that whenever we say something, it's been fulfilled already. But then when you ask them when and how, then they want to try and go, oh. They want to just, gosh. So I have to prove it. They don't want to have to, then that's the thing with these Christians, man. They don't want to ever have to prove anything. They want to just be able to say things and be like, well, I'm right because my skin tone matches the shade that authority has. So I said it, listen up, and don't question me. That's what their pride allows them to think. Right? Now let me go to this. This is Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 7. Babylon have been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that have made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. Now, where is this place that he's talking about that's been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that he's used to make the world drunken? Where is it that he's talking about, man? Where's this place? Verse 5, Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 5, for Israel have not been forsaken, nor Judah of his God. Yahweh of hosts, though her land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel, flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul, be cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of Yahweh's vengeance. He will render unto her her recompense. Babylon have been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand, that have made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Now, can that be said about ancient Babylon? No, because the Persians definitely didn't drink of the wine, because the Persians took them down. So where is this place that he's talking about, man, that's made all the earth drunken? Well, when you go to this place is connected to afflicting the Israelites. So where is this place, man? Where is this place? And let me go to something. I want to go to something, man. This is Revelation chapter 18. I'm going to go to the end of it. Because these Christians don't know who the Israelites are, or don't believe that the Israelites are who we say they are. They have all these other things that they're looking for in regards to Babylon the Great, but they're looking in the wrong place because they don't know who the Israelites are in the first place. This is Revelation chapter 18 and verse 20. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God have avenged you on her. So where is the place where is the place, right, that the Israelites would rejoice if that place got destroyed? Would the Israelites rejoice if the Vatican got destroyed more than if America got destroyed? No, right? America getting destroyed would be a very big thing for who we say the Israelites are, which is the Negroes, the Latinos, and the Native Americans. If America got destroyed, right, we would be happy. And occasionally I tell this story, man, and I'm gonna say it again, man. I remember when the 9/11 thing happened, man, right? And I don't even think I was necessary. I don't even remember if I was even double figures in age at the time that happened, man. And when I watched it and I seen it on the TV, right, I remember jumping up out of my seat, man, as a little kid, man, right, and shouting at the TV, "That's what you get for putting my people in slavery, man." I remember saying that. Now, why did I say that as a little kid? Why did I even say that as a little kid, man? Because it was a thing of rejoicing over a place that oppressed your people, man. It was a thing of rejoicing over what happened, what about how rejoicing over a place getting destroyed that harmed and afflicted your people. And then the apostles tell stories about how they was happy when that stuff happened, but I didn't even know who the apostles were at that time, and many other brothers didn't know anything about Israelites or any of that stuff at that time themselves. Also, even that live in the UK as well. But I remember at that age, at that young age, being happy when I saw that on the TV, man. I wasn't scared and crying for America or nothing like that. I was actually happy, man. And I didn't end up realizing why until several decades later, why that's actually prophecy to be thinking like that. Now, people can say, "Oh, I'm lying" or whatever. Well, that's fine if you want to think that, but why would I have a need to lie about that? This is Revelation chapter 17 and verse 5. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. So all you have to do is look at the world, right, and see which place gives birth to a lot of wicked harlot activity, man. Right? Which place gives birth to a lot of abominations of the earth, meaning which place starts something wicked and then the rest of the world starts copying it, man. Which place pushes weird doctrines on the world? Where's the place that does that, man? Right? Verse 6, Revelation 17 and verse 6, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of martyrs of Yahweh Shai. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. Now, wouldn't America be a place that's drunk with the blood of the saints? Haven't more Israelites died in America than probably anywhere else in the world? Right? Haven't more Israelites suffered and went through pain in America more than anywhere else in the world? There's probably been more Israelites that have died in America than have died in Israel, man. Back when even all the times that we lived there in the past. There have been more Israelites that have died in America than anywhere else. So wouldn't that be a land that's filled with the blood of the saints? Right? Wouldn't that be the land that's filled with the blood of the saints? And what does the Bible say about shedding blood in a land? Well, let me get it. In the book of Numbers. Numbers chapter 35 and verse 33. Numbers chapter 35 and verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Defile not therefore the land which ye shall inhabit, wherein I dwell, for I, Yahweh, dwell among the children of Israel. So wherever the Israelites are, Yahweh is there, man. So Yahweh witnessed all the blood that was shed of the Israelites. He knows, right? And that's why Babylon cannot be cleansed, right? Just isn't there a scripture that says we would have healed Babylon, but it cannot be healed? Let me see if I can find that. I believe it's in the book of Jeremiah. And if I can't find it, well, I've quoted it anyway. It says we would have healed Babylon, but it cannot be healed, man. And it's a lucky if I can't find it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find that. Okay, here it is. Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 7 again. Babylon have been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that have made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Verse 8, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed. Verse 9, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reached unto heaven and is lifted up to the skies. So it's saying that the judgment of this Babylon is talking about that's been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. It's saying that the judgment of it has reached the skies, which goes into what it mentions in Revelation, right? In the book of Revelation, man. Let me see if I can find it. Salakia, 1 second. I know it says it in Revelation 18, but I thought it said something about that in somewhere else as well, but no, it don't. All right, Revelation chapter 18 and verse 2. In fact, I'll start at verse 1. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven. Salakia, come down from heaven. 1 second, Salakia. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 1 again. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For the nations have drunken of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, which goes into how Babylon's been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, which I read in Jeremiah 51, showing that he's talking about the future Babylon, not the ancient one. Babylon of Salakia. Verse 3, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Now, that's another clue as to where Babylon the Great is, because are people getting rich by merchant ships, right, from the Vatican? No, they're not, man. But people are definitely getting rich from bringing goods in and out of America, though. That's facts. People are becoming very rich from America, right? If any brother had a company out there and just had 0.5% of the American market as customers, they're rich. Whatever that company is, man. They could be selling rubber bands. They could be selling candles, anything, man. They could be selling coasters, plastic flowers, plant pots, blinds, pillows. It wouldn't matter. Having 0.5% of the whole American market, that man is going to be rich, man. Or that woman. Because America is a place where you can get rich because they love that soft, delicate lifestyle, man. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Verse 4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. And that's talking about coming out of there with your mind first. But then ultimately that coming out of her is going to be a physical thing. But you got to do it with your mind first. And that warning that's mentioned in verse 4 is ultimately to all the Israelites that live in Babylon the Great. Because every single Israelite doesn't live there. I don't live there. I don't live in Babylon the Great, right? And every other Israelite that's not in the North Country doesn't live in Babylon the Great. So the Israelites that live in Babylon the Great, there's something a bit more special about them, that they're going to get to receive salvation from a place that is going to be completely destroyed, man. Whereas all the lands that we're going to be saved from, if we're of the elect that don't live in America, we're going to still walk those lands that we once lived. We'll still be able to walk on those lands. But the elect that are in Babylon the Great, they ain't going to ever be able to see the place that they used to live when they was in the world from before. That's going to be destroyed. Verse 5, Revelation 18 and 5, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. Now, where can that be talking about? Well, if you know who the Israelites are, it would clearly be America that has caused for problems to be in the life and pain and suffering to be in the life of the Negro, Latino, and Native American. Now, if you was to try and say that those people in the land of Israel are the real chosen, well then Babylon the Great would be Germany, then if you believe that story. right? If you believe the story that they claim that's their hardship of life, then Babylon the Great would be Germany then, right? But that's not what people say that Babylon the Great is, though. Even according to their way of belief, even according to their false thing that they claim, they ain't even saying that Germany she would be Babylon the Great. But we are saying that America's Babylon the Great because we're the Israelites. And America's the place that caused us the most pain and suffering for our people, man. And that's the place and the land where more of our blood has been shed than I would have to say anywhere else in the world, man. I don't think that Israelites have died more anywhere than America. The Native Americans have been slaughtered continually over there. The Mexicans have been getting served death too. And definitely the southern kingdom, the Judah, Benjamin, and Levi have been suffering there too, man. Verse 6, Revelation 18 and verse 6, reward her even as she have rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. How much hath she glorified herself and lived deliciously? So much torment and sorrow give her. For she said in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Now, doesn't America say that? I remember there was one of these red pill guys, so-called red pill guys, that he used to be in the army, right? And he was talking about America, right? And saying this is the reason why America can do what they want to do because they've got this, because they've got that, right? And he was basically being proud and puffed up because he thinks in his mind that there's no army out there that can take down Israel. But if he understood history, the ancient Israelites, which is us, we thought we couldn't be taken down, man. Just picture an army when in a time where men fight with swords, shields, arrows. Picture an army full of people like Deontay Wilder, Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather, Terence Crawford, Errol Spence, right? Muhammad Ali's, Lennox Lewis's, right? With all the NFL players that are in the NFL, with all the American baseball players, Ishikar and all of them. Picture an army full of all people like that in a time where you fight with shields and swords, right? And hammers, spears, and tell me that they would think that they're gonna fall down. No, they wouldn't. They'd think, man, we're gonna wipe the floor with anybody that rolls up. I wish somebody would come up, right? They'd be like, man, I wish somebody would. I want to test out this move that I've been creating. Anyway, man, I got this move where I do a side step and then I catch him under the fifth rib. I've been wanting to test that move out anyway, so I wish a heathen would try. That's the kind of proud spirit that we had back then, right? But we fell. And Esau's got a proud spirit, but they don't even understand that according to prophecy, when you read the book of Obadiah, in fact, since I've mentioned it, I may as well read it for people that might have not heard it before. And it's always a good thing to refresh and hear it again, right? Obadiah chapter 1, right? Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 3. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? Right? Which is basically saying that when Esau gets destroyed, man, there ain't gonna be nothing left. There ain't gonna be no remnant of any of their success left available for them to be able to look at anymore. That all of their former success as a nation is gonna be dragged away from them, man. Verse 6, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? And that's a good question. Because how are we starting to now hear about all these things that we always knew in our spirit, man, that Esau does? We always knew that they poisoned our food. We always knew that there's a reason why when we go in the supermarket, that these Edomites are always looking up in our basket, man, because they want to pass the information down to somebody else so they can know what foods to poison more of, man. They can know what foods to really damage, right? Because that's the things that we like. So they'll look at things like malt liquor and all of that, super malt and all that, and they'll be like, man, how can I damage that in some way so that they can be harmed by that? Or they'll be like, well, they live in this area, so in this area, the food is not actually going to be the same. The food's not going to be the same quality that we give to them in their areas. or we're not going to give them certain food stores in their area to where they can benefit their health. So it's just going to be fast food places and liquor stores in their area, and they're going to have to drive a hell of a long way out in order to get those things, in order to get the things where they can sustain themselves, right? Verse 7, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee, and they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him, right? Because the Edomites have turned against, all these Edomites allies have turned against them, man. So that's why all these Edomites getting proud about how America's got this and America's got that, right? Well, you're going to be betrayed by all the allies that also give you strength, man. Because you had strength because you were stronger than all of them individually, but you're not strong enough against them all if they all turn their back on you, and then all the enemies that you have as well are fighting against you too, and they join themselves into your current enemy. You're not strong then. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 7, how much have she glorified herself and lived deliciously? So much torment and sorrow give her, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and I'm no widow, and she shall see no sorrow. And that's what America thinks, man. More so than anyone else in the world, America has not known pain, right? The people that are consider themselves Americans and want to put every single other classification on everybody else, they haven't known pain, man. They haven't known affliction. And that's why these Americans can go to any country in the world and get treated like it's America, right? They can have the American way of living everywhere that they go, right? There's American embassies all over the world, right? There's American army all over the world, man. So to the point where an American can go to a country where they don't even, where English isn't even the first language, and be treated like it's America over there. They have all the fast food places that they used to over there, all that. They'll have an army based over there that's got all the things that America's got. They can just live like it's America everywhere they go. They don't have to learn no new language to get into mix of another nation. The people have to learn their language when they come over there. And that's the way out Esau has it in general because of America. But that's coming to an end, man. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is Yahweh who judgeth her, and that is a clear sign, man, that's going to be talking about America, man. Verse 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Now, what place in the world, if people saw that burning down, would cause a big distress for the whole earth, man? Didn't the whole world stop when the 9/11 event took place, man? How much more if the whole land was burnt, man? If the whole land was on fire, how much more? If that whole land was completely destroyed, would people be like, what the hell? A whole war started because of what happened in America, right? When that 9/11 thing took place. And whether it was real or not, it doesn't even matter for the case of what I'm making. The point is that because of that place having harm, right? Everyone stopped what they was doing, man. Everyone was crying. They still talk about it now. They've put on memorials for it. But it's going to receive worse than that, man. Whether it was real or not, it's going to receive worse than what happened, man. The whole land is going to be afflicted. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 10. Standing afar off for fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment coming. That's all it's going to take for Yahweh to destroy that place. 1 hour. 1 hour, man. And that place ain't never going to be the same ever again. Never going to be able to be lived in ever again, man. Verse 11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. Now, where's that going to be, man? Where's a place in the world that's afflicted the Israelites, right? And has also made people rich, and has also been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that's made the earth drunken? Which place in the earth matches all those characteristics? Only America. There ain't no other place, man. That says do this, and everyone has to listen because they've got power. There's nowhere else. Verse 12, the merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk. You always have these people that immigrate over to America, right? That they talk about, oh, I had such a hard life in my country I was from, but I moved to America for a better life. But you don't hear about Americans saying, oh, I had such a hard life in America, so I moved to Cameroon for a better life. That don't happen. Or oh, I had such a hard life in America, so I moved to Tokyo to get a better path for myself, and I'm glad I made it over here. I'm after that Japanese dream. You don't see no one say that. I'm after the Tokyo dream, man. Or you don't hear nobody say, oh, you know what? I used to live in India, but I moved over to England for the English dream. That don't get said. It's the American dream that everyone's always after, because America's got everything. America's got whole cities that you can get to experience all the things that exist on the earth and don't even need to leave out of that city. Cities like like Los Angeles, cities like Las Vegas, right? They got everything you can think of in them places, man. Miami. Damn, even New York's got a whole bunch of rich money and stuff like that in there. That's like an Edomite haven, man. Loads of tall cave buildings, man. Loads of tall caves. That's what America is, man. All these expensive modern day caves, man, where people live on the top penthouse suite and all that. They got 27 million property that's attached to a flipping whole tower block building, man. A whole big tall building. But they got a house in there where it's a hotel, but they live in there. They got an apartment in a hotel where people come to stay every now and again. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 12 again. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and fine wood and all manners of vessels of ivory and all manner of vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men, right? Everything's in America, man. Everything's in America. Verse 15, the merchant of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. And that shows that all these merchants are wicked too, man, because they're bringing slaves to Babylon the Great and damn near bringing men's souls there, man. Because people are getting destroyed when they get brought over to America in that wicked black market way that they're living over and doing things over there, man. All that secret list things, all that Epstein shit that they're doing over there, man. All them lists that you don't know who's on those lists, man. All the dodgy things that the president's son's doing, man. That Yahweh's seen all of it. Yahweh saw all of that, man. So the merchants ain't no better. And that's why they're going to get their ass whooped when we end up in our kingdom too, man. They're going to pay for all the wickedness that David did. And part of their payment, part of their suffering, is not being able to make money from all the wickedness that they did anymore. Because there ain't going to be no one else to buy those things that they used to sell to America. And then once America falls, a new ruler's coming. And it's not who people think. It's going to be the Israelites, not Moab. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 15 again. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And that's all they care about, man, is money. They're going to be crying about America getting destroyed because of all the riches, man. They're like, oh, man, if I knew America was going to get destroyed on this day, I would have took out all my riches that I had in there. that's what they're going to be thinking. I'm like, man, if I knew that was going to happen, I was over there, man. All them clothes, all them delicate golds and that was over there, all of it's destroyed. That's what they're going to be thinking. They're going to be worrying about the wealth that they had over there, all their properties that they had over there, right? All their stock, all the things connected to the stock market that they had over there. They're going to be crying that it's been destroyed, man. I'm like, damn. Or a lot of my, I had about 25% of my wealth over there, man. Which really a lot of them are gonna have even had more. I had 75% of my wealth over there. 75% of all the money I make came from America. But now it's been destroyed. So I'm 75% more poor now. That's what they're gonna be thinking, man. They're gonna be thinking about the profit margins initially. And they're also gonna be remembering that the Israelites spoke about how this was gonna happen. And they're gonna be knowing that Yahweh Shai just sent chariots to save that place. To save certain people, because they're gonna see two amazing things take place, man. They're gonna see America get destroyed, and at the same time as America is being destroyed, they're gonna see Yahweh Shai come. So it's gonna be astonishment on top of astonishment in that time. They ain't even gonna have the chance to really even dwell on thinking about America too much, because they're gonna be like, what the hell was that thing that came over America at them time when them nuclear missiles came? What the hell was that? That came over that land? Did you see it? What the hell was that thing? Did you see the size of that? Verse 17, for 1 hour is so great riches come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? And what place is like America in this world right now? What place is there like America in this world? There isn't one, right? There isn't no place like America in this world, man. Where you can see literally every single nationality that exists on the earth in America. You can't see that in the UK. You can't see that in Russia. You're not going to see every single nationality that exists in Russia. But you can see every single group of people that exists in America, man. And that's even a characteristic of Esau. Let me see if I can get it. Let me see. I think that would be the book of Habakkuk, right? Because America is the ultimate spirit of Esau is in there. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, which is what America is, the ultimate form of Esau's wine, right? They produce every single idea that they want to push onto the world stems ultimately from America, really, right? That's the place where they harness it and use the American spirit to exalt that thing, that philosophy that they have, that wine that they have, right? Even though they might make the idea in England or whatever, they might think about it in England, but they make it give birth. They give birth to it in America. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5 again. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he's a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as deaf, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And that's why in America, which is the ultimate spirit of Esau, you can find every single nationality over there, man, because Esau has made it a thing to where he wants every single nationality by him, man. Which is an old spirit of Esau, going back even to the Greek Empire, man, where they wanted every single nation to forget their ways and join onto the Greek ways, man, that Hellenizing, which now it's a new thing, man, Americanization. Right, everyone's Americanized or Westernized, as they call it, man, which is really copying America ultimately, because that's the big bad wolf of Esau ultimately, man. That's the place that's got the most say so. Let me carry on in Revelation 18. Revelation 18 and verse 17, for in 1 hour so great riches come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads, and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships by the ships in the sea, by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God have avenged you on her. So the reason that place is getting destroyed is because of what it did to the apostles and the prophets, man. Now, who are the prophets? The prophets are always Israelites, man. So which place would prophets be seen get destroyed? Prophets of Israel be seen get destroyed and be celebrating? Would it not be America? Yes, it would. Yes, it would, man. Right? So that's the point, man. Like you got all these people that they don't know where Babylon the Great is, but if you knew who the Israelites are, then you would know where Babylon the Great is. I'm gonna end the lesson there. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Makar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the nation of Israel. Shalom.